Good evening, and welcome to the second annual Julian Playwright Festival here at Bishop Allen Academy. I'm Lara Galati, and I'm the director of the play you're about to watch. Now, the Julian Playwright Festival was founded 2 years ago by Juliana Nodden and Selena Ruja. They were grade 12 students here at the time. It is because of, sorry. Their original play, entitled Always End With a Bang, was a huge success, and it is because of their hard work and dedication that we are able to put on student-written, directed, and produced plays here at Bishop Allen. After being through the process myself, I can attest to the fact that it is not an easy thing to do. And by taking the first courageous leap, Juliana and Celine truly are an inspiration to all of us that follow. So, if they could stand, and everyone. There's one other person here tonight in which, if she didn't help us, none of this would have been possible. Miss Moriana, our amazing drama head, has been the backbone of this whole festival from the beginning. She really does go above and beyond the call of duty as a teacher. So, if she could stand, and everyone. There will be a 10-minute intermission halfway through. Now, on the program it does say there will be refreshments. However, due to technical difficulties, that is not the case anymore, but you can still go to the washroom and mingle for 10 minutes, come back here, and second act will start. All right? So thank you again, all of you, for coming. It really does mean a lot. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you tell Viola?
I tried. It was almost as if she knew what I was going to say. So she left the room.
She's a stubborn girl. You know, I once caught her reading a book on existentialism. Is that normal behavior for a 17-year-old girl?
I was exactly like her once. I listened to bands instead of Beethoven. And I argued that the music was better. Because of the profound lyricism.
So I'm guessing we didn't have a debutante ball?
Oh, I did. It looked like a human Sorry. Forgot what we were doing.
Well, I'm here to sell your will. I don't know about you.
Read it to
Okay. I suppose you want me to skip the boring parts then?
As if I have luxury of time.
I know. I want to make sure, that's all.
Please. Just read
This is the last will and testament of Alana Galati, of 53 Park Lane Circle, Toronto, in Province of Ontario. Subject to the payment of my debt, funeral and testamentary expenses, and all probate and other duties payable in respect to my debt, I leave everything I own to my husband, Vincent Galloway.
Apologize, Bernard. If you have all your duties.
Nonsense. There's still this settlement business to take care of.
Sorry this had to happen, Bernard.
I know. I am too. I can't do this, Elena. Vincent said he'll be here soon. Don't, Elena. I'll stay with you until your husband gets here.
Your light. It looks like a headlight. And Vincent's here.
There are no headlights. Would you like me to carry you to your room?
No. I want to stay. My favorite chair.
Elena? Elena! Elena! Where were you?
What? But it's common in settlement law for the child to have access to the money at 18.
I'm afraid so. You can't touch the money until you're 21. The last thing your mother wanted was for you to become a trust fund baby.
Viola, could you please conduct yourself with a little more propriety?
With all due respect, Father, please shut up.
Don't you dare talk to me like that!
What are you going to do? Ground me? I'm sure that's covered in your parenting handbooks.
Would you two please just save your arguments for later? We could settle this faster if we sit and listen for 10 minutes. Thank you. Now, Vincent.
Wait. Did she say anything else?
She said she wants you to make something of yourself. You're going to have to start going to school more often.
School is a pretentious institution filled with dim-witted people waiting to be brainwashed with irrelevant ideas. You memorize a lesson for the test, you forget it the next day. Where's the sense in that?
Maybe if you went to school more often, you would know.
Maybe if you were around more often, you would understand. I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan. I can't stand being in this room anymore.
Your drink, sir? Sir, your drink.
I fail to understand the mentality of teenage girls.
Right. Well, as I was saying, managing the state is going to take a bit more management on your part. Naturally, you'd have to cut down on your business trips.
By how much?
I don't know, maybe enough to make sure your daughter goes to school 2 days in a row?
Mr. Sullivan,
Let's hold off on the pleasantry, shall we? Call me Bernard.
I did the best I could with them.
Didn't help that you were barely around.
I had dealt with the medical payments.
You knew as well as I did that she had more than enough money for home care. I'm sorry. That was out of line.
That's all right. Was there anything else in the will that needed to be discussed?
There's something I've always wanted to know.
What's that?
Did you love her?
My only regret is not loving her as much as you did. There's the dinner bell. I suppose you'll be joining us for dinner.
I suppose so.
Your dinner, sir. There's... And your dinner, sir.
So, Vincent, how was your trip to New York? What were you there for again?
Business.
Right. I've heard a lot of Asian countries are doing well these days.
It's quite surprising.
Yes. I think Asians have a way with money.
No wonder Elda's parents are so successful. By the way, have you all got his veal? It's delicious.
What did Grandma and Grandpa do anyway?
They use most of their money buying stock.
I clean now, sir?
Well, I think see we're trying to have a sit-down dinner. Can you come back later when we're done?
No, it is dusty. I clean now.
Noella, don't make me tell you again.
Yes, sir.
Infernal woman, that Noella. One time she burned a hole through my suit right before I was going to work. What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry, is it illegal to laugh? Well, is it, Mr. Sullivan?
We are trying to sit down dinner and I'm tired of this impropriety.
I'm just saying I don't understand why you keep paying her $20 a month if she can barely comprehend basic English.
Maybe I should.
If you can't conduct yourself in a civil manner, you will be cut off from the Galati fortune.
What right do you have? If anybody has a right to do anything, it's Mr. Sullivan. Clearly, Mom made a mistake when she was writing the will. You're barely ever around. He would have made a better father than you ever were.
What's that supposed to be? So this is what it boils down to, right? After all these years, I've never heard that much from you.
Vincent, please, just take a seat. We can settle.
Don't tell me what to do in my own house. I knew you loved my wife, but I settled down and tried so hard not to be jealous. Why? Because I trusted her. But your influence on my daughter is unacceptable.
Vincent, please, just let me speak. You knew I loved them both, Vincent. I was here when you weren't.
And so, you took advantage of my absence by replacing me in my own family?
Vincent, it's not like that.
Oh, really? Then how would you explain it?
Vincent? Vincent!
Daddy?
Where is this detective? I have places to be.
Calm down, Mr. Sullivan. He'll be here soon.
What is his name? Detective Lou Fitzgerald. The precinct said he was one of the best.
I get it! I get it! Wait! Hello.
You are Detective Lou Fitzgerald?
Yes. Good morning.
You are not a male?
Last time I checked, no.
Horrible.
You see, we were under the impression that you were male, hence the name Lou.
Oh, that's quite all right. Lou is actually short for Lucille, but personally, I thought that sounded just a bit too, feminine for a police detective. first then, Mr. Sullivan. Could everyone else please exit the room? You should start from the beginning. Now.
Well,
I'm sorry, is it illegal to laugh? Well, is it, Mr. Sullivan?
We are trying to sit down there and untie this impropriety.
I'm just saying I don't understand why you keep paying her $20 a month if she can barely comprehend basic English.
maybe I should just leave. This is clearly a private conversation.
Wait, so you just left the room?
Yes, I didn't want to get caught in the argument, so I moved over to the next room.
Which room?
The kitchen.
All right, and when exactly did you notice the murder had occurred?
Well, I heard yelling, so I went to go see if everyone was all right.
Now, do you mind telling me the nature of your relationship with the victim?
Oh, I clean now, sir?
Excuse me, ma'am. This is a private investigation. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
No. Mr. Sullivan had said I could come and clean later. It is later now, so I clean.
Noella, why don't you take the day off? It won't be the end of the world if you don't clean the house.
But the dust, sir, it grows. I must dust the dust, or the bunnies become born.
Noella, why don't I take you to another room and clean?
Okay, sir, I'll come back later.
Right. Well, as I was saying, I've worked with the Galati family since I started my career. I handle the family's legal affairs. They even named me Viola's godfather.
And anything beyond that?
No. Nothing at all.
Right. Well then, thank you for your time, Mr. Sullivan. Okay, the hat.
That's nice. That's nice. Apologize, sir.
Pardon me?
I picks up the room, yeah?
What is pigs?
You know, sir, pigs, like this, yeah?
Oh, you mean fix up the room? I thought you meant pick up the room.
No.
Okay, I see.
La, 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 la.
Noella? 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 Noella!
Apologize, I did not hear you, Mom. You know, very bad hearing. Yeah?
Yeah, I can tell.
I go back to cleaning now.
Lara, I think it would be best if we go to clean another room.
Chef! You do not even own this house, okay? You know what? You know what? I go to clean the next room, okay? Happy now? Just go!
I
I have to talk to you about something.
Okay, go ahead first.
I don't think I can go to Poland with you.
And why is that?
I have no money of my own, and I know your financial situation isn't great either.
Okay, I see.
I'm sorry. I thought that after my father's death, I'd gain early access to the inheritance, but I guess there was a plan B.
It can be.
Yeah, you know, something people lay aside in case that something were to happen.
So, we do not have a plan B.
No, it doesn't seem like we do.
Viola, what about if you find a job?
We have to be realistic about this statement. This was a crazy idea to begin with.
So, there's nothing else we can do.
We've done everything. There is nothing else we can do. I'm sorry.
Viola, wait. Are you ever going to talk about what happened?
That's considered a taboo topic around here. Trust me, there's good reason for it.
Is everyone ready to go? Where's Viola?
Oh, she's getting dressed. She'll be done shortly.
Oh, all right. I never understood why it takes one so long to get ready. You know what I mean, right? Right. Well,
Cannot believe Mr. Galloway is gone.
yes, it's tragic. Who would want to murder him? For what reason?
I came to this country to learn the English language. I never expected to be involved in a crime.
Well, look at it this way. It'll be a hell of a story to tell back at the Euro Center. Right. Not time. I can't imagine how Viola must feel, seeing her father like this. And to add insult to injury, I have to figure out a way to tell her she's not going to inherit the house.
What? First, you refused to hand over my fortune from my mother. Now, you're refusing to hand over my house?
Viola, please.
No, this is ridiculous. I lose my mother, I lose my father, and the only objects that they leave me, the things that remind me of their presence, are being taken away from me?
Viola, just listen. Your father modified his will at our last meeting. He thought with your recent immaturity, it wouldn't suffice for the responsibility of owning an estate.
Oh, please, how hard can it possibly be? He was around maybe 60 days of the year, yet he still managed to do it, let alone raise a child.
Viola, look, it's not up to you to decide whether or not to keep the house. As far as I'm concerned, the house now belongs to your Uncle Theo.
Uncle Theo? So my father refuses to hand over my house because I'm immature, yet he gives it to a senile old man.
Viola! There is no need for crude comments.
Do you know what he did last time? He burnt down his kitchen on Thanksgiving because he forgot he had a damn turkey in his oven. The only thing we had to be thankful for was surviving the event. Not to mention the fact
Enough! We're not talking about this right now. The will is finalized, and the house is under your uncle's name, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to go pay my respects to your father. Maybe you should do the same. For once.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
just shut up, Damien. Let's go.
I'm sorry to intrude, but I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't absolutely necessary.
Of course.
I'm here to tell you there seem to be a few complications regarding Mr. Galloway's autopsy.
What kind of complications?
There were large doses of colchicine found within his body.
He had a medical condition. He suffered from gout attacks every once in a while. Kidney stones.
I'm aware. However, he seemed to ingest more than the necessary amount.
What are you implying?
Well, the cause of death seems to be the poison veal. However, I have reason to believe that more than one murder attempt was made that night.
That's not possible. He seemed perfectly fine before dinner.
Well, victims of colchicine poisoning generally show symptoms 4 hours after ingestion. I suppose their killer was a bit impatient.
So, where do you go from here? You wouldn't be telling me this if you weren't planning to interrogate me.
Oh, I will. But for now, I think I'll leave you to your proceedings. Again, I'm sorry to intrude.
Of course.
What was that about?
Nothing you need to worry about.
Mr. Sullivan, would you like to say a few words?
All right. Vincent Galloway was as devoted as any man to his family. Loving, caring, and reliable. And when he loved someone as much as he loved his wife and daughter, he went the distance. All we can hope now is that he's in a better place. Thanks, Vincent.
Mr. Sullivan,
Oh, Damien, how can I help you?
do you mind if I have a word with you?
Of course not. What about?
It's about my old trust fund. We were wondering if there's any way in which you'd be able to access your account sooner.
Let me guess. Viola could join this.
No! She's not aware that I'm speaking to you. I just thought that maybe you would be able to change your circumstances.
Look, Damien, it was Vincent's last wish to retain Viola's funds until she has a prospect for a stable career.
And she will, just in a different manner. I would like her to go to Poland with me for a year. She could study with me at my university.
Look, Damien, I understand your true motives. You love her, don't you?
Yes, I do. But that's not the main reason.
Of course it's the main reason. Look, I wasn't born yesterday. And if there's one thing I've learned in my many years of living, it's that there's no place for hopeless romantics in this world.
Mr. Sullivan, I don't believe in that. My parents were young and in love, just like Viola and I. And even after all those years, they are still very much in love.
Well, I suppose they're part of the lucky 2% that end up finding true love.
Maybe. But what harm would it be to let her go to Poland for a year? It would give her, what you say,
Cultural experience?
Exactly.
Because she'll experience more than just the culture, believe me. You two will be together for mere 2 months at maximum. And then she'll find someone else during which time you can do nothing but support her and regret your decision for the rest of your life. She's just like her mother.
Mr. Sullivan, why do you take such a cynical point of view on life?
My boy, it is not cynical if it's real. And no, I will not change your trust on circumstances. It'll do you some good in the long run.
Sir? I'm sorry. Sir, ma'am. Would you like tea?
Yes, I would like a cup.
Oh my God, Mr. Sullivan will be very mad. I can see all over the floor. Oh.
That's what you're worried about? It's not as if I've just been burned by scalding water.
The tea takes very long to clean up. You will heal.
The smallest of kindnesses and fetch tea
Yes, ma'am.
Where's Damien?
Who?
Damien Novak. I asked you to fetch Damien Novak.
Mr. Novak is not here.
Wait, so you went out and came back in 15 seconds with a ray. Is that what I'm supposed to understand?
I go look for him.
Yeah, you do that.
Ma'am, Mr. Novak is not here.
I've had enough of this. Damien Novak, if you are on the premises, please make your way down to the living room immediately!
Yes?
I was under the impression that you weren't here. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, I'm here. What did you need, Detective?
I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Of course. I will answer them to the best of my ability.
I'm sure you will. All right, I'd like your account of the events in the night in question.
Detective, is it necessary? I don't like thinking about those emotions. I have never experienced anything like that back in Poland.
I said I would like your account of the events in the night in question, Mr. Novak.
Of course, Detective. Sorry,
If you can't conduct yourself in a civil manner, you will be cut off from the Galati fortune.
What right do you have? If anybody has a right to do anything, it's Mr. Sullivan. Clearly, Mom made a mistake when she was riding the wheel. You're barely ever around. He would have made a better father than you ever were.
What's that supposed to mean? So this is what it boils down to, right? After all these years, I've never heard that much from you.
Vincent, just take a seat. We can settle this.
Don't tell me what to do in my own house! I knew you loved my wife, but I settled down and tried so hard not to be jealous. Why? Because I trusted her. But your influence on my daughter, I cannot accept.
Wait! So, what I'm getting from this is that Bernard never left the room.
No. I think he was in the dining room until Mr. Galway's death.
All right, now, do you mind telling me the nature of your relationship with the deceased?
Well, I'm a Polish exchange student, and Mr. Galway was my temporary guardian.
All right. Now, do you know the circumstances surrounding their argument that night?
No, it's none of my business, so I did not ask.
Right. Well then,
Thank you, Detective.
thank you for your time then, Mr. Novak.
So I will show you this way.
Hello.
Hello, dear.
Hi, Mother. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Look, Mother, if you're calling simply to chat, then I'm going to have to call you back. I'm busy reviewing a case file.
No, see, that's the thing. I thought it over, and I think you should leave the force.
Mom, how many times have we had this conversation? I'm not leaving the force. I'm a police detective, for heaven's sake. And why would I leave the force after receiving a promotion?
Well, it's like they say, quit while you're ahead, right?
You seriously need to stop with the ancient cliches. They're getting really annoying.
Honey, I just don't think a girl like you should be doing this line of work.
And how exactly do you define a girl like me?
A girl like you shouldn't have to resort to violence or risk your life in the line of duty just to keep the peace. We women negotiate with language. When we argue, we do it with our eyes.
Geez, Mom, you must have a pretty dark view of the police force.
Well, don't you risk your life?
Yes, but that's my choice. I mean, I didn't have to receive the promotion. I could have been stuck doing some stupid desk job. And you know what? We do negotiations too, you know, with actual language.
See, if you would have become a secretary like I told you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And have you ever thought about how this is affecting your love life?
Well, actually, no, that is none of your business. And who thinks of that stuff anyway?
But your biological clock.
Bye, Mom. I'm gonna have to call you back. Hello?
Detective Fitzgerald. Hi, I'm calling about the whereabouts of Mrs. Galloway's other child.
What have you found?
The child in question doesn't live with the family anymore. The last I heard of her was from a payphone in Saskatoon.
Is there any way to track her down?
I don't think so. If it helps, I probably would have changed my name after running away. Her birth name is Sophia Mary Galloway.
So you're saying by all likelihood she goes by another name now?
I would assume so, yes.
Is there any telephone records, anything else to trace her whereabouts?
No, the last records appear about the same time she ran away about a year ago. She withdrew all her savings.
All right, thank you. Wow, another Galloway kid. Who would have thought?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday to you.
All right, 10-minute intermission.
Noella, a favor, please.
Yes, sir. Would you like milk, tea, or me?
I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. I need you to make a phone call for me.
Okay, sir. What is the number, sir?
It's on the table next to the phone.
Sir, it is not working.
What do you mean it's not working?
It says the number you dialed is not in channels.
If you can't even offer a simple telephone, then what is it exactly that you do around these hours?
I does, sir.
Right. Well, you can go dust somewhere else.
Well then, you just call me if you need me, sir. Yeah?
Don't get me. Yes, hello? Is Detective Fitzgerald there, please? I'll hold.
Hello, Mr. Sullivan.
Ah, Detective Fitzgerald. You left a message with my secretary yesterday?
Right, that was almost a week ago. I'm guessing you've been busy.
Oh, very. What with double the funerals and double the bills to deal with. Not to mention other clients.
Oh, right, that's only natural. I was wondering if we could meet in person.
Do talk about what?
That's confidential.
Right, of course. I suppose I'm long overdue for that interrogation.
Interrogation has such a negative connotation. I mean, it's nothing but a simple conversation.
Right. How does tomorrow at the house sound? Around you?
Why not at the office?
Oh, it's hectic around there. Plus, I prefer to keep my personal life and my work life separate.
Coffee's, quite hot. Right, until tomorrow then.
See you then.
Are you looking for something?
Oh, yeah, just a document missing from your mother's files.
What is it? A second draft of the will, perhaps?
No, but nice try. Anyway, I'm not supposed to discuss any legal matters that you don't need to know about.
Right, of course.
Last time I saw it was in a box of her belongings.
We cleaned those out and put them in the attic.
We did?
We did. Don't you remember?
You want I take this to the attic too, sir?
Just take everything.
Wait! Can't we at least see what she had in there?
Those are private things. I'm sure she would want them to be kept away from prying eyes like yours.
Quite the contrary. I doubt she would mind. In fact, I think the smallest box is where she kept her most prized belongings. There was always a story behind each one.
Do you know any?
Very few.
This really isn't a good time.
Come on, Dad. It'd be a nice way of preserving her memory.
Oh, for goodness sakes, we only just buried her.
Maybe your father's right, Viola.
Dad, please, I'm begging you.
Noella, hand me the little thing, would you?
Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm sorry, sir. There's a big spider in the basket. Here, sir.
Yes, Noella. Do you mind finishing the laundry? You can come back later when we're done with everything else.
Yes, sir.
Did she just curtsy?
Let's get started then. Well, this looks neat.
It's got a neat backstory, too.
Well then, let us with your story.
When your mother was a child, she loved to collect snow globes. Her parents were rarely around, so they tried to make up for that. So no matter how busy they were, they always took the time out of their day to buy a snow globe from the city they were in. I think she had close to 100 by the time she received her last one. A few of them were limited edition, but whenever someone tried to negotiate a price, she always insisted that they weren't for sale. She thought of them as her only tangible connection to her parents.
I remember, she was pretty devastated when she couldn't bring them all. It would have covered up a lot of space.
She was a stubborn one, wasn't she?
You'd be surprised. She understood you more than you think.
My parents sent me some portraits from Poland. I was wondering if you wanted any.
Actually, I could go for something sweet right about now.
I guess I could use them too.
Are you coming?
I'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
Viola, come and try these treats. They taste
you this early. I'm sorry, but don't you have better things to do than knock my door at 8 in the morning?
Well, aren't we a little bit cranky in the morning?
Detective Fitzgerald, what are you doing here?
I called you yesterday.
I don't recall our conversation. Otherwise, I might have dressed for the occasion and answered the door in more polite manner.
Well, I left a message with Noella. She said something about I deliver it to you right away.
That maid is always so scatterbrained.
What do you pay her for anyway?
I have no idea. Dusting?
Well, she definitely does a good job of that. Anyway, since you didn't get my message, I'm here to ask you about a couple of new leads in the case.
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
All right, well, first things first, what is the nature of your relationship with the deceased?
Vincent? Didn't you ask for that already?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting Noella didn't give you the message. What I meant to say is, what is the nature of your relationship with the deceased, Elena Galloway?
Elena? What does she have to do with this investigation?
We have reason to believe that Elena has to do more with this investigation than we initially thought.
You're kidding me, right? You're not kidding. How's that possible? She passed away before the investigation started.
Guess her karma's coming back around. Just answer the question, Mr. Sullivan.
Well, Ellen and I had the same relationship that Vincent and I had. She was my client, so it was strictly professional.
So apart from handling her will and other legal documents, you two had no personal relationship whatsoever?
No, of course not. Why do you ask?
Really? So you don't mind my asking as to why you live in her house?
Oh, well, that's a bit more of a complex issue. You see, since Viola can't inherit the money or the house until she obtains a degree, and since their uncle lives so far away, I'm sort of a caretaker of the house until the conditions are met.
Right. Now, do you have any reason to believe that Elena may have been unfaithful to Vincent? Perhaps any secret lovers?
No, of course not. Why do you ask?
Well, records show that a year before Viola was born, Elena gave birth to another child. And what's more, Mr. Sullivan, is that you signed the papers. Hold that thought. What is it? Now? Tell him there I'll be there as soon as possible. I suppose we'll have to continue our conversation for another time then, Mr. Sullivan. You have a good day, Ben.
I don't want to talk about this right now.
You do ever want to talk about this? You're always avoiding the topic.
I'm not avoiding the topic. I'm simply saving myself time and effort.
Viola, what are we talking about?
You know as well as I do that I won't be able to go.
Hey, you cannot just give up on this. If you could just get enough money to buy a ticket, I could even take care of the rest. Maybe you won't even have to go back.
Not go back. Now, hold on. We agreed I would spend a year in Poland with you and then come back.
But what will happen to us? Once the year is over, maybe we will not last.
Look, Damien, we're not getting married, if that's what you're thinking. If you buy into that whole soulmate idea, that's grand. You can live life in a box full of illusions and be happier than the rest of us. But don't expect me to fulfill that ideal simply because you think that way.
Viola, don't you think
I'm not about to throw away any other future possibilities for you. You won't be able to tolerate the distance after I leave. When that happens, we'll probably break up. But you know what? That's fine with me. Because we'll have had a run and we get to keep the memories. I'm sorry if this isn't how you wanted our little romance to turn out, but tough luck. This is real life, not a love story you can stick in some mediocre novel.
I don't understand why you're saying these things.
Seriously? How could you fail to grasp something as simple as get a grip on reality?
So you were saying that all of this was for nothing?
I never said it was for nothing. I'm just saying you're not the one controlling this story no matter how hard you try.
You heard me talking to Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, I'm not an idiot, you know.
So you were eavesdropping.
Don't go playing the victim. I was on my way upstairs when I overheard the conversation you two were having. To be frank, I found it a little pathetic.
Why are you being so cruel? You weren't the one trying to listen into a private conversation. I only tried to help you.
And you had no personal motive whatsoever. Exactly. Well, thank goodness that shut you up. I have to catch up on my correspondence with my Indonesian pen pal. If you'll excuse me.
Have you ever tried to do anything other than talk to Mr. Sullivan about your mother's will?
Believe me, I'm
How
trying.
you are, really? Because it looks to me like you're making no effort.
You have no idea what I've done, okay? Look, I really did want to uphold you. Don't flatter yourself into thinking it's all because of you. I wanted that cultural experience you were talking about, and it wouldn't hurt to get away from this hellhole of a home either.
Viola, that is why I'm telling you to stay with me.
No, I want to come back to Canada. I'm just not coming back home. I'm telling you, leave this alone. It's pointless.
I told you I loved you. Would that change anything?
Have you not been listening to anything I've been... There it is.
I guess I have my answer.
Well, at least the hard part's over.
And upon success with the degree, I leave everything I own to my daughter Viola. May she use it to do great things.
So, have you considered my proposal?
I can't believe you've had the letter all along. You haven't exactly given me a choice.
Well, I thought to myself, why not use this letter to my advantage?
Please, Viola, don't make me do this.
Come on, Mr. Sullivan. It's not that difficult. Just fork over the money, and we can put this all behind us.
What you're asking me to do is commit a serious felony that goes against my ethics. I could lose my job. I could go to jail.
Okay, but I failed to see how that prevents me from receiving my fortune.
Can you just think for once of someone other than yourself?
Oh, you're giving me that speech. I think you should have given that speech to my mother before you shipped off my sister like a common package.
Your mother and I love that child very much. She thought about her every day.
Then why did you give her away?
Because she was an illegitimate child. Your mother thought it'd be better that she be sent off to foster parents and thrown in infamy and scrutiny. She was trying to protect her. So how's it going?
Haven't started yet. How do you tell someone you gave them up and sent them to a foreign place for their own good?
Just right as if she were in the room here with you. From the heart. I'll leave you alone.
My darling, Sophie, I do not want to mince words, so I want to impart upon you with words of wisdom. The world is an unfair place. The circumstances in which we find ourselves in cause us to perceive the world as an ugly place. And you think, what is the point? But I also want you to remember this. Beauty exists. I know this because when you opened your eyes for the very first time, it was as if everything around me lost its significance. However, as I said before, the world is an unfair place. And even though it pains me to say this, I had to let you go. Your eyes are undeserving of this world's ugliness. Even though I've been deprived the privilege of being your mother, remember that I will always be here. Someday, beautiful girl, you will amount to great things. When you open your heart as wide as I did the day you were born, beauty will show itself to you. Your loving mother.
Exactly what happened, ma'am.
Could you just please send in Viola?
Yes, ma'am.
Looking for me?
Ah, Viola, have a seat.
How long is this going to take?
As long as I see fit. Right, so I'd like your account of the events in the night in question.
Fine.
You're trying to have a sit-down dinner, and I'm trying to simple bride.
I'm just saying I don't understand why you keep paying her $20 a month if she can barely comprehend basic English.
If you can't conduct yourself in a civil manner, you will be cut off from the gallery torture.
If you'll excuse me, it's quite clear to me that no one in this household understands the definition of civility.
I'm surprised you didn't fight back.
One grows weary of it after a while.
That's a mature decision of you. You're well on your way to becoming a young adult.
I suppose.
Being a young adult has its privileges, does it not?
Where are you going with this?
If you don't mind my asking, what exactly did you inherit from your mother?
Actually, I do mind you asking. I don't see its relevance.
I realize this is a touchy subject, Miss Galloway. If you don't answer the question, you're going to find yourself in a cold, metal chair instead of that one plush wood. Do you understand me?
I got nothing.
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 Really?
So what?
And why do you think that is?
I know it's because she wanted me to make something of myself. But she can't force me to do something I don't want to do simply because she's my mother. If I do something wrong in my future, it's on me and no one else. At least I'll know it's my life.
Off the record, I completely understand what you mean.
Yes, well, my family life is unsatisfying.
Great. So, I'd like to know the nature of your relationship with the deceased.
To be honest, it wasn't a good one. We didn't exactly part on good terms.
Could you elaborate on that?
He wasn't really around. Often I fantasize about the idea that I'd been switched at birth. Sometimes I wonder how my mother felt about it, but I suppose I'm glad she had Mr. Sullivan to keep her company.
And what is the nature of their relationship together?
I suppose it was professional, but since he's my godfather, we consider him family.
And nothing else?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
All right then. Thank you for your time, Miss Galloway. Now, where exactly is that maid with the tea?
I don't think you'll be getting that tea today.
Right. No.
There. Are you happy now?
Quite. Now, if you don't mind, I have some business to attend to. Yes, well, you're welcome to see the house today if you'd like. 30 minutes? Sound perfect? All right, see you then. Novella, could you come in here, please?
Yes, sir?
Well, as you know, the house has become quite difficult to manage, so we've had to make a few tough decisions.
So I clean all of house and get a raise, sir?
No, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go.
Sir?
We're firing you.
No, please, no, sir. I have no job and I cannot feed my family.
Oh, goodness, have some dignity. Here, I can pay you early.
I only take cash, sir.
Do you not have a bank account?
No, sir.
You should get one. Now, if you don't mind.
I'm coming. May I help you?
May I come in?
Yes, of course. Are you looking for anybody in particular?
Is Mr. Bernard Sullivan here? I've heard that the house is for sale and I'd like to take a look around.
I can go fetch him for you if you want. May I just ask your name?
Victoria Craft. Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I'll be right back.
Are you quite all right?
Jen, you can go and get your own tea, okay?
I apologize for the wait. I do not know what time it is, sir. So, how do you like the sitting area?
It's nicely furnished. Don't think I'll need to do too many renovations. It's almost as if there's a spirit in the room that I shouldn't disturb.
May I just say, you bear an uncanny resemblance to
Helena? You've come to take me with you.
Mr. Sarban! Mr. Sarban! Mr. Sarban, wake up!
What did she say her name was?
Victoria Crouch.
But she looks so much like...
I know, Mr. Sarban. I know.
That can't be a coincidence.
What's all the commotion?
Let's just say I fell. Hard.
Did Noella forget to mop the floor properly, or...
Can we just not talk about it?
Fine. You tell me what happened.
He fell up very, very hard.
Is there something you two aren't telling me?
Violet, please.
What are you two hiding from me? I hate this house! It's made less of bricks than it is of secrets.
Seriously, Viola, you're giving me a headache.
Viola, please.
Stop! Just leave me alone. And as for you, Mr. Sullivan, don't think I'm done with you yet.
You're not talking about this right now.
Who's the father, Mr. Sullivan?
Mr. Sullivan, what is she talking
Stay
about?
out of this, Damien.
Look, just leave it alone. I'm already doing what you want.
My initial thought was that you were enough of a sap to protect my mother. I thought of all those nights she spent at the hospital, and I assumed half the time she was meeting up with another man. But then I realized something. You wouldn't be so concerned with a secret like this getting out if you weren't trying to protect yourself.
Look, I can explain.
So, if my assumptions are correct, what does that make you? Because I don't think I can call you my stepfather.
I have been sitting in here for almost a year now, listening to all of you, arguing every minute of every day. I have become just as much a part of this problem as all of you. So, I ask again, what are you two talking about?
Well, Damien, if you must know, I have a half-sister. And I've been too stupid to realize what was in front of me all along.
Mr. Sullivan, how are you?
Yes, Damien. I'm afraid so.
But what will Fitzgerald see when she hears about
I
this?
don't know anymore. If we can barely manage to keep secrets, who knows what she's found out?
Guess it's time to find out.
Hello, Viola. May I come in? Ah, I see the whole lot is here. Right then. Have a seat, Viola. Right. So, it all started with a cup of tea. DNA evidence shows that before dinner time, someone poured poison into Vincent's tea. But that didn't work, now did it? Of course not, so that someone had to wait.
Sorry, I'm late.
If you can't conduct yourself in a civil manner, you will be cut off by the Galway force.
What right do you have? If anybody has a right to do anything, it's Mr. Sullivan. Clearly, Mom made a mistake when she was running the wheel. You're barely ever around, and he would have made a better father than you ever were.
What's that supposed to mean? So this is what it boils down to, right? After all these years, I've never heard that much from you.
Vincent, please, just take a seat. We can solve this.
Don't tell me what to do in my own house. I knew you loved my wife, but I settled down and tried so hard not to be jealous. Why? Because I trusted her. But your influence on my daughter is unacceptable.
Vincent, please, just let me speak. You knew I loved them both, Vincent. I was here when you weren't.
And so, you took advantage of my absence by replacing me in my own family?
Vincent, it's not like that.
Sometimes people can be so engrossed in their own arguments that they fail to see what is happening right in front of them.
Really? Then how would you explain it?
Vincent? Vincent?
Daddy?
So as you can see, our killer here deserves an Oscar. And it wasn't easy because every single person at this table had motive. So I had to go searching. And as many secrets as this family has, there was always one that was never quite, well, revealed. Miss Kraft, if you could come out, please.
Are you?
No, Mr. Novak, she's not who you think she is. But she knows all too well of who you're thinking of, for it seems that Elena herself had a twin sister. Miss Kraft, if you could elaborate.
I am Elena Galloway's twin sister. I never approved of her decisions in life, so we became estranged. But then, one day, long after our mother passed, Elena came to see me.
Under what circumstances?
She needed someone to take care of her illegitimate child, Miss Sophia Galloway. I'm sure you've heard of the foster family under the name Sinclair. That's my husband's name.
No wonder she advised me against me.
See, I asked Miss Kraft here to pose as a potential buyer to understand the circumstances surrounding the house. Seems I got more than I bargained for when she told me about your little reaction. It confirmed my suspicions. You, Mr. Sullivan, are Sophia Galloway's father, aren't you? And your daughter is every bit as intelligent as you are, for she somehow managed to evade the police. But you mark my words, I will find her. So to answer the question that is in all of your minds, who is Vincent Galloway's killer? And my friends, I have the answer. You see, the motive wasn't one of passion. Oh no, that would be much too simple. You see, once Vincent Galloway was dead, the estate and the rest of his belongings would go to the nearest living relative, Viola Galloway.
What are you talking about?
I'll give you credit. Your plan B was smart. I never realized teenagers could devise a plan so cunning. But despite all of your efforts, everything didn't go as planned now, did it?
This woman is delusional.
Viola Galloway, you are under arrest for the murder of Vincent Galloway. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. And
Mr. Sullivan!
one cannot be afforded.
Damien, do something! I didn't kill him! I wouldn't!
Well, I suppose my job here is done. I hope to see you two gentlemen in court. Come along now, Miss Kraft.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Sullivan.
Oh, Detective Fitzgerald. What do I have the pleasure?
I was wondering if you'll be able to make the court hearing next week.
Oh, of course. I still get daily reminders from your receptionist, not to mention my own assistant.
Right. So, off the record, how are you and Damien doing?
Well, Damien's gone back to Poland. He couldn't bear to stay under the circumstances, and his term is almost over anyway.
Of course, that's understandable. And you?
Fine, as always. I suppose I'm just trying to adjust to daily life again.
Well, hey, if you're ever in the neighborhood, maybe we should grab a cup of coffee sometime.
I think I'll take you up on that offer someday. Anyway, for now I really do have to go.
Right. See you.
See you.
I leave now, sir?
Noella, I took it upon myself to call you a taxi. It should be here any minute.
Okay, sir.
Well, Noella, it's been a pleasure having you around. I'll be sure to write you a reference letter. I'm sure it will serve you well at your next placement.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, Noella, goodbye then.
Who knew pleasantries could take so damn long? But I suppose that's how it is with these wealthy people. How pathetic. Well, it looks like my job here is done. Who do you think I am? Of course they did. Actually, I began to think they were going to catch me when they began talking about the missing Galati girl. Really? I think I quite like the name Noella, don't you? It's definitely better than the name Sophia. If you think I am going to go by the name that witch gave me, you thought wrong. The will? Who cares about that God-forsaken will? Besides, I have enough money from the salary they gave me from being their maid. Oh, who's doing time? Well, I think it's safe to say whoever's doing time deserves it. And I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Well, I think my taxi's here. Ta-ta. Good evening, everyone. So, Lara, our beautiful, beautiful director. So, I'm Lara Banlaoi, and I co-wrote this script, and we're the cast of The Walking Dead. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I get that confused sometimes. We're the cast of Wedlock and Waiting. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight. And just one more round of applause for our wonderful cast.
thank yous we want to do. First, to the lighting guys. And everything ran very smoothly. And to our stagehands. They're going to get the job of like helping us with everything from costumes to painting the coffin. Next, we want to thank all the parents of our cast in the audience. You have been great supporting us, especially when you had to drive all of our actors to morning practices. I'm really sorry about that, but thank you. Another big round of applause for Miss Mariana, who